Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, false fear mongering by unions. Fiji ready to host historic ADB meeting. And top brass arrives for ADB meet.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Hot on the heels of a fake and negative story about the government used by Fiji TV. Now it's the Fiji Trades Union Congress's turn to do the same. In his effort to embarrass Fiji in front of an international gathering of dignitaries at the Asian Development Bank meeting in Nadi this week, National Union of Workers General Secretary Felix Anthony has ended up embarrassing himself and his union today by releasing a false statement containing wild claims and allegations about the government and the Water Authority Department that the FTUC extracted from an anti-government fake Facebook page. Pranita Prakash reports.
It's this anti-government fake news page posing as a real news service that's now fooled the country's biggest workers' union.
It is quite disturbing that Felix Anthony is ready to mislead the workers into strike based on a Facebook page which contains news and events which never happened.
In the lead up to threats of possibly plotting Fiji's biggest worker protest that could have seriously destructive effect on the country and its economy, the Fiji Trades Union Congress is desperately pushing forward, so much so that it's now using the aid of fake news. In an effort to amass worker support, the FTUC General Secretary Felix Anthony this afternoon in a press statement used the same fake news page used by Fiji TV last week to create fear about workers losing their jobs.
This only proves my earlier point. Felix and the union do not care about the workers. They do not even bother to verify the basic information, but are ready to lead the workers down the path to strike. The same workers who pay his salary. This is not only irresponsible, but is also highly suspect.
In this fake story published 2 days ago, it was reported that 2,900 Water Authority of Fiji employees across the country will lose their jobs in a mass termination tomorrow. The story also deceptively states that Infrastructure Minister Choneu Samate said in a press conference that termination would involve 600 permanent workers and about 2,300 who were employed on contract. Now, just a week after Fiji Television used this site to advocate and report a fake news story about government policy on bus fares, the FTUC is the latest institution to be conned by same anti-government fake news page.
Actually hilarious that they have to start pulling from thin air or creating words that I never actually said. I never spoke to any reporter anywhere telling them all these things that they say that I've done.
It is very unfortunate that the union has caused so much distress among our employees and their families because of fake news which the union has spread in their statement.
Last week, Fiji TV released a statement apologizing for running a false story, but to date has not acknowledged the fact that it wrote a fabricated story by quoting this fake Facebook page called Fiji News, which now has well and truly duped Anthony and his union as well. In the meantime, thousands of panicking workers around the country have already been misled by the union through the fake news page that they will lose their jobs tomorrow. Although the use and reliance on fake news is a growing problem all around the world, this latest deliberate use of false and misleading information from this fake news page by the union could well turn out to be an unplanned embarrassing situation for Felix Anthony rather than the planned embarrassment for Fijian government by the union. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The final touches having now been applied, the stage is set for Fiji to host the 52nd Asian Development Meeting of its Board of Governors. At the helm of the organising committee that has been a little over a year in planning, Permanent Secretary for the Civil Service Bernadette Welsh says they're confident that everything is ready to roll out ADB Week.
It's the finishing touches, dotting the I's and crossing the T's for one of Fiji's biggest high-level meetings.
Before a major event, it's always a last-minute rush. You're just trying to make sure that you've got all the details down pat, but I'm very confident that we're ready. and this place is looking absolutely stunning.
The 4-day meeting will be jam-packed with several sessions, all run side by side.
Have up to 4 concurrent different kinds of seminars and meetings happening every day. Then the official opening, which you can see behind me on the screen, is going to happen on the morning of the 3rd of May, and that's where we're going to have the traditional welcome. The Prime Minister will be joining us as well.
Security has been stepped up, with air surveillance a critical aspect.
It will not be like the whole day, but at specific times. They will just do some air surveillance as well, but not on the whole throughout the day. But it is on the times that we specifically choose for the surveillance to be carried out.
The ADB meeting will begin tomorrow, with the Pacific developing member countries kicking off the formal proceedings. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Felipe Nicasso now joins us live from Nandi. Felipe, what is the latest you have for us?
Yes, Jackie, on the eve of the ADB meeting here at the Sheraton Resort in Denarau, it's just been so busy with organizers trying to just put together final touches to one of the biggest meetings here in the Pacific. They'll be held right here. And I have with me here the PS for Civil Service, Bernadette Welsh, who will tell us a bit more about how preparations have been so far from day one up until just today, with just a few hours remaining for the ADB meeting to kick off. Ma'am, just to tell us, final touches were done tonight. Is everything ready for the meeting which starts tomorrow morning?
Yes, I can assure you that we're all ready and prepared for our first lot of meetings tomorrow, all the way through to day 4, when we're going to have the big business session. One of the things that's really impressed me about our preparations this time around is that we've got the kind of technology that I've never seen before in any of the big international meetings that I've been involved in organising. So I worked on the G20 in 2014, which was world leaders, and I can assure you that the technology and some of the things that people are going to see here in Fiji for the Asian Development Bank annual meeting far surpass what we did in Australia for the G20 in 2014. People are going to be really, really impressed what Fiji can do. We've already got delegates from over 80 countries that are registered, and the ADB has 68 member countries. So we have delegates from outside of the ADB membership who are arriving as we speak.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Felipe. Less than 24 hours to the start of the Asian Development Bank's high-level meeting, preparations are fully underway, not only for the dignitaries, but also for those behind the scenes. With more than 2,000 staff in food and beverage, front office, support and security, fine-tuning the last details was top priority across the Sheraton and Western resorts. Rachel Nath caught up with the team on Denarau today.
In preparation for the 5-day event, the Sheraton and Westin resorts undertook an investment of $20 million in upgrading its facilities.
The initial plan was to sort of understand clearly what the requirements of the conferences are, and based on that we put a massive investment plan which we needed the investment in to upgrade the hotel. We now have a fabulous brand new Denarau Convention Center. We also have 4 new meeting rooms, including better amenities across the hotel. We've also done some upgrade across our restaurants and certainly some investment in our rooms.
The upgrade also included a brand new kitchen which hosts 14 chefs from various parts of Asia, Australia and New Zealand.
So many local talents, and the most of the chefs are local, and they're working so hard. Of course, we have a couple of overseas chefs. And so we try to work together and come up with beautiful ideas for amazing menus.
The 2 kitchens with over 300 culinary staff will be catering for more than 3,000 guests for each event on a daily basis.
It wasn't easy to put all of the menus together. However, we try to feature the Fijian flavors, and we try to feature all the beautiful Fijian produce that we can get locally.
The meeting also has close to 500 volunteers on the ground over the 5 days. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Maggie Boyle is also in Nandi for the ADB meet, and she's joining us live to tell us what to expect tomorrow. Maggie.
Good evening, Jackie. Well, less than 24 hours away from the ADB Board of Governors meeting, and with a nice touch in terms of looking at the program tomorrow, getting ADB week started off is the developing member state countries from the Pacific, which will be holding a preparatory meeting with the ADB president. Now, it's a nice touch because Fiji effectively is the first Pacific Island country and a developing member country to host this meeting, which we know is a high-level delegation of a little over 3,000 delegates expected to attend. Other meetings for the day on the program that are to look out for is there's going to be climate financing, which is one of the key areas and themes that's going to be discussed over the next 4 days of this meeting. We're looking at climate change, ocean health, along with renewable energy and gender equality, some of the key areas that the Asia-Pacific region is looking into, particularly when it looks at its continued economic growth. For now, of course, it's the last-minute touches, and we get ready to roll out a fantastic program. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Maggie. Still to come, health workers told to toe the line. And Endgame breaks all records. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oya ubashitsa isa ilambasa, ya ndo talita ina warongo Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warongo Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Wana tunga Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nambua.
Na evengo fanya na tao.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party Youth Wing and the main party executives will have a special meeting this week to iron out issues regarding the SODELPA annual general meeting. Re-elected Youth Wing President Chope Koroisavo has confirmed that if SODELPA retains its stance to hold the AGM in Savu-Savu, the Youth Wing will support it.
The Youth Wing believes in unity, and according to Koroisavo, everything will be settled this week.
Like a normal family, there are times when we have disagreement with things that are happening within the party, and I'm happy that our party is open to discussing such issues, and hopefully we'll solve it within the process of the party.
Meanwhile, he stressed during the Youth Wing AGM today the need for young people to familiarize themselves with the new Parliament Acts and election process and to participate in politics.
Now we have preparation time. We've had lesson learned. We've learned our mistakes. We've learned the weaknesses, and we've now got a better feeling of how the political landscape is. And so we're well prepared now to approach 2022.
This is one expression or one venue where youth can really participate in democracy.
To have this AGM from last year, but it never happened, and I'm really glad that we've been given a chance to conduct this annual general meeting for the Youth Forum.
Koroisavo also mentioned that youth engagement in the political process is important so they can make a wise decision come 2022. Sabera Tamboa, FBC News.
Health Minister Dr. Efiremi Wangai-Nambete says unprofessionalism and inefficient services in any health facility is unacceptable. This comes after a social media post regarding the poor health services by nurses in Navua Hospital was brought to his attention. Kelly Vadala reports.
The Health Ministry says it's important that clinics open on time and health staff are available to ensure patients get the service they need.
There are times when health professionals need to take a break, and they have mechanisms to ensure that the work is covered during that time. But obviously, people are all sitting and having a break, and no one's covering the floor, and there are very sick people outside. Then it's unacceptable, and I'll be happy to receive a complaint. There's a complaints line, 157.
Minister Dr. Wangai-Nambete says the public needs to raise such issues with them directly as it will help improve the health system as well.
Let us know, plus maybe tell us at what particular time and hour and who was on, so that we can deal specifically with these people. Not all health professionals are like that. There's a lot of hard-working health professionals.
The minister says health professionals have been reminded to lift their game when serving all Fijians, and the public can feel free to provide feedback. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Families of the two men from Boer who have been missing at sea for over a week now today held a Thanksgiving and memorial service for the duo. 70-year-old Alosio Vulai of Makole village in Solevu and 58-year-old Ameri Ratodoko left for a fishing trip on Easter Saturday but failed to return. Eleanor Terangaiviu has more.
It was a solemn occasion, one filled with sadness as villagers of Makole and Buya gathered to remember the lives of Alosio Vulai and Ameri Ratodoko.
For me, my siblings and my mother, it's really hard to accept that our father is no more. We are really saddened because he loved us all equally.
Vulai and his cousin Ratodoko left Solebu on Saturday morning to get some fish for Easter Sunday. They got on a 15-horsepower fiberglass boat from here, but never came back.
I came back from church and asked my son if his father had come back, but he said no. I told him to check in Vuya, but Ratudoko's sons were also looking for them. They then went to file a police report.
For Vulai's family, it's been a difficult week. It was hard to accept the news of their father being lost at sea.
I'm putting my trust in the Lord. If the Lord has called his life, I will give thanks to him for giving us a loving husband, father and grandfather.
The Ratodoko family, however, is still hopeful their father is still alive 10 days after they went out on that fateful fishing trip.
We are not losing hope. We pray every 12 a.m. and every 4 a.m. for the Lord to show us where our father and our uncle are.
2 wooden crosses bearing the names of the two men are planted on a hill in front of the village, a commemoration of their lives and to give passerbys the opportunity to say a short prayer. Eleanor Terangaiviu, FBC News.
Hundreds of Hindus gathered over the weekend for the annual Firewalking Ceremony at Bhagwati Temple in Korodiri Nausori. This yearly event has been around since 1943 and once again believers were there in numbers. Pranita Prakash reports.
Devotees' walk on hot charcoal is classified as an act of self-purification. For devotees, it is part of a vow in which the devotee promises to walk on fire in exchange for a wish or blessing.
Believe in Hindus that once you walk through the firewalking, and that's you leave all the casing and all behind you. And it takes a lot of time, sacrifice to work in the fire.
The person who performs the firewalking normally adheres strict protocols for a period of a month, avoiding non-vegetarian food, alcohol, physical intimacy with their partners and performs rituals daily.
And that is the main thing. That shows the proofs that there is willpower and there is God there to assist.
The firewood and charcoal are left to burn till they become hot embers. Participants are drenched in turmeric and water for purification before they walk on embers, where yellow is the color of the day.
Well, yellow is a unique color and it shows the mind as well to say, okay, just like I expressed to you, that it's a discipline, sort of uniformity.
The popular belief has been around for years and the faith brings hundreds to the temple every year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
They are back with a vengeance, smashing the bad guys in global movie records while they're at it. The latest blockbuster Avengers Endgame is now the first film ever to make $1 billion in just 5 days. Later in sports with Jamie, he will have more on Fiji's first outing at the Touch Rugby World Cup. But first, Rachel is tonight in Nandi at the ADB meeting venue and joins us live for business.
Thanks, Jackie. Yes, the hype is building up for tomorrow's ADB meeting. But first, coming up after the break. Hotels gear up for big meeting. And in growing Fiji and Ngau Islanders to get boost with road rehab works. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singatoka. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Koroko, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Mariva. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM.
Leading business tonight, the Asian Development Bank's high-level meeting has given Fiji a platform to tap into meetings, incentives, convention and exhibition, or the MICE market. Host Sheraton and Westin Resorts Multi-Property Vice President Narij Chawda says the meeting positions Fiji as a great destination for not only hosting small conventions but also larger conventions. Chawda adds the MICE business will truly benefit the tourism industry.
We have peaks and troughs, and the MICE helps us remove the troughs in the business. So MICE is very, to get MICE business across lowers and shoulder season is a fabulous step forward for Fiji tourism and Fijian economy.
And from here, the ADB meeting, we now join Sanifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the money markets.
The Australian dollar led risk assets lower in Asia today after a survey of Chinese manufacturing missed forecast for a rebound in global growth. The Aussie is often used as a liquid proxy for China, given Australia is a major exporter of resources to the Asian giant. A solid report could support risk assets and currencies leveraged to Chinese growth, including the Australian dollar, while pressuring the safe haven yen. Figures for economic growth in the Eurozone are forecast to show a modest rise of 0.3% in the first quarter, but at least that would be up from the previous quarter and may be taken as a hint of stabilization. US data overnight showed consumer spending enjoyed the sharpest rebound in 9.5 years in March, yet core inflation still slowed to a 14-month low. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. In a volatile market, the Fiji dollar continued to rise. It made some gains against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, as well as the PNG kina and the Japanese yen, but it slipped slightly against the Aussie and Kiwi dollars as the euro. Taking a look at the commodities market, it was mixed with oil prices back on the rise at over $63 per barrel. Gold lost some grounds that it made yesterday, slipping at $1,281 per ounce. And silver was down as well at $14.93 per ounce. And in going Fiji tonight, road maintenance on the island of Ngau is nearing completion as Fulton Hogan crew works around the clock. The crew of 11 men is working to complete 28.5 kilometers of the Ngau Circular Road and 696 meters of the Jetty Road. The Ngau Circular Road was only accessible by four-wheel drives and had a lot of potholes, which usually caused slippery during rainy weather. The work has involved drainage, grading with compact removal of high shoulders, pavement bridging and metaling, as well as installation of culverts. A total of 10 heavy machines were shipped to the island to do the maintenance work. And that's business for tonight. Do join us from tomorrow for the live coverage from Nandi on FBC TV and FBC2, and also for all the very latest in our news coverage. But Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Nanranga weary of Suva at this weekend's Skipper Cup, and 8 weightlifters to represent Fiji at Junior World Championship. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Kelele Were has made some changes to his run-on team for their second Oceania Under-20 Championship match at the Gold Coast in Australia. The Fiji Under-20s will take on the host tonight with a few positional changes. Levi Natave switches from loose to tight head prop, while Vilive Miramira moves from blind side to open side flanker, and Amniasi Shaw replaces Eparama Saulo at number 8. Only one change has been made to the back line, with former Ratokandabulewu School student Oceana Tonga coming in for the suspended Epeli Momo. Meanwhile, coach Kelele Awere has advised the team on the importance of maintaining discipline on and off the field. This after Momo was shown a red card in their previous match against New Zealand, forcing them to play with only 14 men in the entirety of the second half. The Fiji versus Australia match kicked off at 7 this evening. The Nanronga rugby side is adamant of getting its Skipper Cup campaign back on track this weekend, but it's not going to come easy. While it was tough losing at home to Nandi 40 points to 18 in round 1, Nanronga Union President Tiko Matawalu admits it'll be even tougher taking on last year's champions.
Come round 2, which will be against Suva. Suva is not an easy team too, especially playing on the turf. It will be a big challenge for us, so we really need to work hard.
Fiji's Australian Football League management will select the final squad for the 2020 AFL World Cup in October. Chairman Lee Howard says it is important they pick their squad early to allow ample time to prepare for the tournament. He adds, with the right training, Fiji has a good chance at the World Cup.
Fiji has been participating since 2009, and essentially we're looking at preparing for next year's World Cup tournament, and so we'll be making our selections from this year.
There was no shortage of talent on display at the Primary Schools Rugby League Nationals at Buckhurst Park today. The FNRL has also noted a growing interest in the sport from young female players, some of which came all the way from Riketi. Aquila Dama has the details.
The future of rugby league looks brighter. In 10 years' time, some of these players will still be playing the sport. It's one of the reasons why a pool of players has been created by the FNRL.
But down the track, we're going to put things in place with academies and skill development systems that are actually going to help build and promote and develop NRL professional elite rugby league players.
The national coach was impressed with the commitment of the teachers and parents in preparing these youngsters.
We're talking about a 10-year plan there. There's 12-year-old boys and girls here that in 10 years' time are going to be professional rugby league players in Australia. You know what I mean? That's the long-range plan. Today's about really having fun and loving what you do.
The FNRL credits its development officers and the NRL team based in Fiji for the school visits, which have generated a lot of interest.
When we had the Super Galabi, we had teams coming from schools from Netasir, from Tailip. So it was quite exciting to see them, to be there, so eager to play the game. These are boys and girls. So rugby league is offering an opportunity, an alternative to other sports.
Teams all the way from Riketi, Nandi and Nanronga were part of the national championship, which ended in Suva today. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
8 lifters will represent Fiji at the International Junior Weightlifting Championship this year. In the women's division, Fiji will be represented by Winnie Mekula in the 59-kilogram category, Rebecca Johns in the 64-kilogram division, Merawalesi Vusini Tokalau will participate in the 81 kg lift, and Helen Sepua takes on the 87-kilogram plus category. Meanwhile, in the men's division, Fijians Maika Tauke Nikoro will lift in the 61-kilogram competition. Samuela Nasila takes on the 67 kg lift. Maloni Sandrano will participate in the 73-kilogram category, and Timothy Wakurivalu in the 96-kilogram division.
So the World Juniors is a really big competition. More than all the countries around the world will be coming into Fiji for the World Juniors. Preparation has also been going really well. Same effort has been putting into the Pacific Games. Same effort has also been put into the World Juniors. Because Fiji will be hosting, it's going to be really big to have the home nation. So I'll be training really hard to try and make my country proud.
One of the key pillars of the All Blacks scrum will be out of rugby for at least another month. Veteran prop Owen Franks remains unavailable for Super Rugby as he continues recovering from a shoulder injury, but the Crusaders have revealed today his prognosis could have been much worse. Former Queen Victoria School Under-18 fullback Sevoloni Rees has got the backing of former All Blacks great Christian Cullen, who has endorsed the now Crusaders wing as an All Blacks bolter. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and the new media. Disaster strikes foldable phones. Details coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे ट्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In new media, Samsung has pushed back the planned public launch of its highly anticipated $2,000 folding phone. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Such a wonderful day with very cool temperatures. The weather has great improvement, but we're still encountering slight showers. Now taking a look in the west, it was a mild day with showers anticipating later tonight. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, quite easy here, very calm and sticky. And up north, more beautiful sunny periods. An escape to the beach is a must. At sea, southeast winds at 20 knots, moderate seas. For the tides, high tide at 4:15 a.m. and low tide at 10:21 a.m. Sunrise at 6:19. For tomorrow, a perfectly fair day. Sounds like some good news. More sunshine for our beddings and sofas. Tomorrow's temps, all major centers will fluctuate between 29 to 32 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, more fine weather prevailing. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should Sevu Reece be included in the All Black squad of the 2019 Rugby World Cup?
I think Sevu should play for All Blacks team because he's good in performance.
I don't think so because he's a Fijian. I think he needs to be included in the Fiji team.
Yes, he should be included in the All Blacks team in New Zealand for two reasons why. Get to use his talent and get more experience.
It's good for him because of his family, and playing for All Blacks is something that he can develop his skills in his rugby career.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, a false fear mongering by unions. Fiji ready to host historic ADB meeting, and top brass arrives for ADB meet. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, we're asking, is FRA doing enough to fix potholes on our roads? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day taken by our very own Maggie Boyle and Nandi as all get ready for the ADB meeting from tomorrow. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, neva ngomal kay leloma, ngongay nakas ondo magrong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa, ya ondo talita ino warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere. Wala na tunga ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere nambuan.
Neva ngofanya na tao ne ngo singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.